Good afternoon and a warm welcome to each one of you. I am Dr. Atya Sabha, serving as the Joint Coordinator of Indian Association of Physiotherapy Women's in Telangana. On this special occasion, I extend my heartfelt wishes to all the incredible women. Happy International Women's Day. It's my pleasure to welcome you all to this webinar on Women Trailblazers of Telangana in Physiotherapy, celebrating the pioneers who have made a remarkable contribution to our field. Now, it's my honor to welcome Dr. Madhuri ma'am to take the session forward. Dr. Madhuri ma'am is the director of Eagle Touch Private Limited, founding director of School of Physiotherapy at Geetham University, Visakhapatnam. She also served as a chairperson for Women Empowerment at Geetham. She has more than 20 years of experience in the healthcare industry in India and the United States in different settings. Alumnus of Sri Ramachandra in different settings. Alumnus in Sri Ramachandra Medical College and Research Institute. She completed her Doctor of Physiotherapy in US and is passionate about the profession. Currently serving as the IAPWC State Head for the Telangana State, she is also an active at national level, coordinating the development clinical practice guidelines. This year, she chaired the Committee of IAP's Practice Guidelines Development for Geriatric Fitness Assessment and Exercise Protocol and a series of 3 books of women's health. And she is also a part of editorial board of Physiotherapy, Journal of Indian Association of Physiotherapists. Dr. Madhuri ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Atya. That was really kind of you to say that. I welcome all the attendees and the panelists and the organizing team of Indian Association of Physiotherapy Women's Cell, Telangana team. Without their hard work, all of this wouldn't have been possible. So I welcome all of you and thank you for attending this webinar and wish you all a very happy International Women's Day. First of all, when we are talking about the International Women's Day, and when I was actually researching about it, previously, many years back, I used to think, why should we celebrate such a day? Like many of them may not have like an international recognition day, but why Women's Day? So when I was researching through that, I learned a lot from the International Women's Day, and that is the whole purpose of celebrating the International Women's Day. So looking back, right from the more than 100 years back, 1848, since then women have been fighting for not only their basic human rights, or at that time basic human rights, and in 1945 they in other countries they have fought for the right to vote, and there were many such movements like the movement for the security of women, and as you must all have heard, in 2015 the gender equality and equity point was included in the Sustainable Development Goals of the UN. And it was only in 1977 that the United Nations declared International Women's Day, or recognized International Women's Day on March 8th. Since then, every country, women in all the countries, they celebrate International Women's Day without any discussion of the nation or economic difference or culture. And this has been important because not only the basic human rights and the gender equality, this was also very important for the equal pay, like the salaries, the payment, equal payment for the work that they do. And I was kind of surprised to know that that happened only in 2023, that the athletes were paid differently, like the women athletes were paid different than the athletes, the men athletes, and that equality of pay happened only in 2023, and that movement happened as recent as last year. That was kind of surprising to me. And when we are learning about this, now we think that, okay, now all in so many years, we have achieved so much. All the women have fought for the rights, and we are doing very well right now. And we may or may not have to do it. Why to continue this tradition? So when I was again researching through it, can we go to the next slide, please? At the UN website, some of the facts and figures, what we can see is that even today, one in every three women are subjected to physical or sexual violence across the world. And it is kind of disturbing to know that even in as recent as 2023, 51,000 women and girls worldwide, of course, were killed by the family members or their partners. That equals to an average of 140 women or girls every day. That is kind of a very shocking number. And of course, these are kind of extreme things that we keep hearing. But then we are all aware of the workplace gender discrimination, the some kind of sexual harassment, pay disparity, and glass ceilings. They do exist even now. So the freedom that we are enjoying today and the kind of rights and luxuries that we are enjoying today are the result of so many other women who have fought and joined, who have fought and created this movement, who have taken time out of their regular schedules and work timings and put an effort to for the betterment of women, which we are enjoying today. So today it becomes not only a tradition that we are carrying out, but it is also a responsibility and duty to conduct these kind of days, which actually becomes a platform to discuss whatever challenges that we are facing. Next slide, please. The challenges that we are facing, and the Women's Day not only recognizes and celebrates the achievements of some of the women, but also promotes a day where we can actually advocate the equal rights and equity for the women. So it is that important to celebrate International Women's Day, so that it's not only our status of equality is improved in the society, but also for the future generations to come. So in the same lines, Indian Association of Physiotherapy started the Women's Cell under the leadership of Dr. Ruchi Varshne. Next slide, please. Where it was not too long back, only in 2019, that she dreamt of a forum where women are free and are encouraged to participate. They don't find the barriers, and there is a lot of support for the women, and that's how the Indian Association of Women's Cell was started. And today, next slide, please. Today we see that the Women's Cell has grown, and just this platform or just this one small gesture has encouraged so many women. And today we are a team of 3,000 members across the country who are supporting, who are helping each other, who are encouraging each other, inspiring each other, and actually doing so many different activities in the community where they're doing awareness programs, different campaigns, the health camps, not only to improve the awareness of the profession, but also the improve the health of the community. So it is that it has had such a huge impact, a small help, and the vision of Dr. Ruchi Varshne. So, and the team which have started it. The IAP Women's Cell comes with an objective in 2025, not only for the improvement and the support of women, but also to help out in the standardization of the clinical practice, and also tie up with different organizations and government institutions, government organizations and private organizations, so that we are more networked. And also the support for the support of women, there are some initiatives that they are taking, so that they are supporting the women entrepreneurs and providing scholarship for the girl students. And of course, safety tools is something that we cannot forget, and it's never irrelevant. So in those lines, recently we have the Indian Association of Physiotherapy Women's Cell, along with the IAP, have taken this initiative of development of the clinical practice guidelines, and launched two guidelines, which is the assessment of geriatric fitness and also on the women's health. Next slide, please. So this is of great help, and it is only a starting step in the standardization of clinical practice, which will be a great resource for many of the therapists and also the students. Next slide, please. In the same lines, IAP Telangana State team, which is version 2 is what I can say. This is a new team, and everyone is contributing so much for the same objectives of Women's Cell and IAP, and also towards the profession, have been working tirelessly in conducting these awareness activities and camps in Telangana. So in that direction, today we are going to celebrate. Next slide, please. Today we are going to celebrate International Women's Day with the success of our pioneers. We have women leaders, and it was surprising to know that there are so many physiotherapists, women physiotherapists working in this profession, but then there are very few that we can actually call as leaders. And the panel, the excellent panel that we have today, are some of them who we can learn, who we can get inspired from. So we will we are looking forward to learn from them. So I welcome all the panelists, and let me introduce to our panelists. First, we have Dr. Sabita Prasad, who is a senior physiotherapist from CNC Vellore, and she has a very rich experience of 39 years, and she has recently retired from BHL. Welcome, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Hannah Rajshekar, who is the founding principal of Apollo College of Physiotherapy in Hyderabad. She has a rich experience of 34 years, and not only as an administrator, as a principal, but also as a person. There is so much we can learn from learn from her. Thank you so much for agreeing to attend this webinar. Welcome, Hannah, ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Professor Chaya Nandini, who is the principal and professor at Durgabai Deshmukh College of Physiotherapy. She has an experience of 20 years and has been guiding the girl students and also all the students in the profession, and has been contributing to the profession. Welcome, Chaya ma'am. Next, we have Dr. Anjali Agrawal, who is a seasoned physiotherapist and the women's health specialist. She's also a teleconsultant and EDS hypermobility specialist physio, and she has about 24 years of experience. So we will definitely learn more from them than me telling about just the profile. It is only a small profile, but there is so much more that we can learn from them. So my first, it is not only the success that we are looking at this time. We are looking at so many challenges and the obstacles that they have faced, and the motivation with which they have overcome those challenges. So let us know from these pioneers how they have overcome those, and what are some of the tricks that they can share with us today. So Dr. Sabita ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
We are not able to see your video, ma'am. Is it possible for you to turn on your video?
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. How are you this afternoon?
Fine, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you for joining this. So clinical practice is definitely a very, very difficult landscape, and you be working there for 39 years.
Yes.
Can you please share your experience, your journey, as how was it, and what were the challenges that you faced, and how did you overcome those?
Okay. Yes, it was very difficult when we joined as a physiotherapist. I had completed in 1985. I think many are not born also. I finished my graduation that time. So when I say I'm a physiotherapist, people were asking, what is that? What do you do? Including people, doctors also. When I was at NIMS, 2 cardiologists asked me, what do you people do in our hospital? That was the situation. So I was feeling so bad. Even medical people are not able to understand what we do like. So I took every opportunity to educate people about physiotherapy and its importance in the field of healthcare. And I never used to leave any opportunity. If anybody asks about physiotherapy, immediately I used to say very good about it. Like it is a treatment procedure that we give without medication and without any side effects and with long lasting effects like that. That was my regular thing I used to say. And we had tough time to recognize, get that recognition that we are also health professionals. It was in the beginning like that. And I used to be very confident and self-sufficient with the knowledge, whatever we have learned. I used to keep myself updated regularly, and I used to keep myself very, very updated. Like that is what I used to do. And people used to also did not know what to call us. Like, are you a doctor? No. So are you a sister? No, like that. So I used to say, don't call me sister. Call me by my name or madam. That was also one of my regular saying. Like people were very, very doubtful, like what we are doing in the hospital. So I went on telling people, call me madam, call me madam, or by my name. That was one of the odd things that we faced in the beginning, obstacles like that. I think many of the old people also agree with me.
So true, ma'am. Actually, today we got the recognition, and I mean, I think quite a number of people are aware of physiotherapists and the respect that we are getting. It is the struggle of the seniors like you who have actually fought and took every opportunity to gain this respect. So, thank you for that. Thank you for sharing your experience. So, next, moving on to Dr. Hannah Rachekar, ma'am. So, ma'am, you also have about such a long experience as the founding director of a College of Physiotherapy. What are your experiences? What were the challenges that you faced, and what was your motivation basically to overcome those challenges?
Thank you, Madhuri, for inviting me on this platform. I should say that in the initial days, I was involved also with IAPWC from 2020 to 2022. It was great working with Dr. Ruchi Varshini, and then later on with the other team members. So I would like to acknowledge Dr. Sabita's presence over here. She was my super senior, 2 years, senior to me. She was the first batch of graduate from CMC Vellore, and they really took care of us, motivated us. At that time, when we started learning this, as she pointed out, in CMC Vellore, it was quite a accepted profession of physiotherapy. We were into the clinicals and into the academics, full swing. But once we graduated and went out, everyone asked us, what is this? Awareness among the medical professional and the community was very, very less. People couldn't understand what it was. In fact, they referred to us as, some massage therapists. And whenever they did that, I was very ready with a big explanation of how we use physical modalities and exercises. Because in those days, the way they, had a concoction towards massage was really not right. And I didn't want to, leave that sort of view. So I took every opportunity to explain how exercises, how physical modalities can help in relieving pain, help in improving function, how different conditions can be treated. This was the thing that went on. And incidentally, I'm, one of those fortunate people that I was able to get into Apollo College of Physiotherapy in '99. And it has been a great learning experience with, from a clinical therapist, from a clinical point of view, I went into academics. So there too, there were obstacles like, back then, definitely a young principal was not really very, maybe acceptable. But as we worked together, I really have good memories of my senior students who passed out in '99, 2000 and on. The difference between them and now, the dedication and compassion that we had towards treatment was awesome. Then now we need to, motivate, imbibe those qualities into students for patient care. The curriculum has advanced terribly. Like when me and Dr. Sabita studied, we didn't have, biomechanics. We didn't have certain subjects in pharmacy, pharmacology. So, it has been a continuous learning process. I think, I should give time for the rest of the people to say something. Maybe later on, I could add few more points.
Thank you so much. That was so true. And next, Dr. Chanandini ma'am, what is your experience in leading an institute like Durgabai Deshmukh College of Physiotherapy, which is also huge, and you have so many students, so many girl students, and I think you also have a responsibility of carrying on the legacy of Dr. Durgabai. So, what is your experience like?
First of all, I'm conveying my happiness to be among such, amidst of such fine professionals. If I'll be happy if you could change my profile name. It is showing as Vandana. Madam, both Sabita ma'am and Hannah ma'am have touched emotional and social aspects. Let me touch the physical aspect. Basically, we join the profession doing a groundwork that it is physically strenuous. Beforehand itself, before joining the profession itself, we know that it is going to be physically strenuous. But the preparation part to be physically, competent to carry on the work, I don't think still we have reached the mark. So I'm basically from swims. I studied from swims. There they have started a therapeutic gym, and it is given free for the students. Why? Because anatomy in the cadaver room, every day, one or two people used to faint. And they used to take a break of 2 more days to get accustomed to the, that standing as well as to the smell. So our madams, our teachers, they insisted on the physical fitness of the girls especially. We are lucky enough that we could get such things. And one more thing I'm telling is our curriculum itself includes that. What is lacking is that among the students, first year itself, they'll be taught, first chapter itself is nutrition in biochemistry. But how far it is given importance, because I insist in my college to the teachers who are teaching those subjects to insist on those subjects, on those nutrition part especially. And as well as we have a specially equipped therapeutic gym and general fitness, and it is given free for the girl students. This I'm speaking on women's donor, so I should insist on this topic. I thought of talking about this, the importance of physical fitness. And still there are lacunae, and still there is lack of knowledge on that. And second thing is communication. Most of the students who are coming from the counseling states, they are having this, I'm also basically from a town. I also came with lot of inhibitions, but knowledge overrules all these things, I know. But for that development of these communications skills also, the curriculum is not so supportive, I guess. Whatever the subject we are having English, that insists on only that literary part as well as grammar. But in our college, we insist on taking classes on the communication skills also. Personally, I am interested in that, but how far it is implemented in other areas, I'm not sure about that. These two areas, still there is deficiency, I feel. Thank you. Let me also give time to others.
Sure, ma'am. That is so true. That is definitely an area where we can improve. Am I audible?
Yes, yeah, you are.
So yes, that is definitely an area we need to improve, as you very rightly said. Next, going to Dr. Anjali. You tread a landscape which is completely different, and we are not aware of it. So as in the social media, I'm not talking about the telehealth not the telehealth and also the as a women's specialist, but then the freelancer entrepreneurship is completely it's a different ball game altogether. So what are your challenges? Can you share where do you get that motivation and energy from to give it to your patients?
I think as Hannah ma'am and Sabita ma'am, all of them have been pioneers in this with lots of experience, and even Madhuri, you. So I think all of you already had set the ball rolling for people like me to take on from there. And I think coming as entrepreneurship singularly, not academically, it is challenging. You don't have support structure as you will have in a medical college or physiotherapy college, right? There's hand holding to happen. But here you are on your own sometimes, as especially being a women entrepreneurship, which is solo sometimes. So you'll have times where there is, a patient who's very, very technically very, very challenging to deal with. You have to make decisions which is solely dependent on you. Then you have clinician has said there's a lot of prescriptive information given by the clinician and which you need to follow, but you need to kind of stand up for yourself, having a voice as a physio, having a voice as a women physio, to say this is what is my treatment plan and this is what I'll stick to it, because this is what I think is good for my patient, right? So this is what should is very challenging, and this motivation actually comes from the fact that we need to voice our thoughts and let patient care be the patient care, which is in the best interest of the patient. It should never be directed in the way that a clinician is directing, okay, I'm writing IFT, ultrasound, this is the only prescriptive description of a treatment. But as coming out as different forms of treatments to be given to a patient, which will help patient care to get better. So I think I voice my thoughts on behalf of the patients. I also voice thoughts of other physiotherapists who are coming to do something different in the field of physiotherapy. And also women physiotherapists never ever heard so well in the clinical scenarios, because it becomes a male dominating field. But I'm so happy seeing youngsters coming now, so much in so that we see a lot of young women physios coming and they're doing so well. And I think the motivation has been, I think I would like to mention one of my mentor was in my college was Dr. Shabnam. She was the head of the Department of Bellevue Clinic. I do want to mention her name, and I think she set the ball rolling for me too. And all of you, in fact, I think so. Yeah.
That is so right on, because as you very rightly said, we as women physios, we are still fighting two battles. One is for our profession, which is still getting recognized, that with other professionals, we have to say that, okay, this is what we want. And as women physio, with, of course, other members, other team members as well, to be assertive and not to be rude again at the same time. So that actually takes me to my next question of, how do you lead? What I mean, the leadership can be in different forms, because we are not seen as very authoritative. We cannot be, we have to be firm, but not very authoritative or bossy. And at the same time, we have to be convincing, we have to put our point through. So the leadership comes in many different forms, and of course, in our different settings. So I want to learn a little more about that, and I'm sure the audience also would want to learn about it. So Dr. Sabita ma'am, in the clinical setting, and especially in the place where you were working, so what was the kind of leadership skills? What was your leadership was like? And what is that you want to advise a little younger people like us and more younger generations to come?
Okay, ma'am, thank you. Leadership means as a physiotherapist, we all should be very much well equipped with the knowledge of the subject that we have studied. And we should be able to assure our patients, our staff, or the family that come to us. If you are having that qualities, then you can stand up for yourself. Like generally what is happening is in the hospitals, doctors refer with a prescription. That's what I don't like at all. So what I started doing is I used to tell all the doctors who are writing short wave diathermy, ultrasound, I used to tell them, only write physiotherapy. Refer to physiotherapy is enough, sir. We will manage. That's what I used to say. So all the physiotherapists should be able to decide what treatment, best treatment that we can give. We should take the relevant history and we should come to a conclusion what we can do. Like then only we should tell the patient, this is the method of treatment I'm going to give you. Some patients come to us saying that you people are giving current. I used to feel very uncomfortable. You people are doing some heating. All those words I never allow them to say in my department. I used to tell them treatment method. After deciding, I will tell this is the treatment method I'm going to give, and you have to come so and so. Like that, slowly I will make them understand that ours is not massage, ours is not current, ours is not only heating. So I'll tell them the detail what we are going to do. Then I'll make them comfortable. Then I will go ahead. Like when I was working at NIMS, I remember I had one patient with fracture. It was sent from orthopedics department for physiotherapy. Then when I started doing movements, all cluck cluck sounds. Immediately I referred back to patient, that same doctor, saying that please review our diagnosis I have sent. And one more case also, that is also in NIMS. One patient had come for physiotherapy with infantile spasms. Child is a case of cerebral palsy. Patient is having fits. Doctor did not recognize Dr. J.M.K. Murthy. And I asked the patients, are they taking any medication? They said they didn't. Doctor did not tell us to use any medication. Immediately after seeing us, he referred to physiotherapy. I said, that's not correct. Please go back to the doctor and tell that madam has expressed that patient is having some fits. You please see, sir, like that. You go and tell the doctor, they will check. And when they went back, they have done the EEG and immediately started on treatment. So I feel we should be well equipped with whatever we have studied. We should be able to even direct the doctors. I have suggested some surgeries also to some doctors. Please go ahead with this so that they can be better than what they are now. So that much knowledge we should have, and that much we should be able to guide even the family, patients, and the doctors. That was one more patient I'll tell you in the beginning of my service, like in 80s, that was 85 I completed, no? One MS orthopedics has sent one case to me saying that it is a case of torticollis. Please give cervical traction. Then when I have examined, I noticed that the patient is not having torticollis, but it's something else. Then I discussed with my senior and I said, looks like this is a case of meningitis. Let us refer him back. So we got him admitted and saw that it was diagnosed as meningitis. So never go according to the doctor's prescription. That is my advice to all the younger generation. Always make your own diagnosis before you proceed, because sometimes they'll be in a hurry. Immediately they'll refer the cases to us. Though they have done MS, all that, still when the patient comes to us, never blindly follow the advice of doctors. So we should make our own diagnosis and go with our treatment. Like then we should be able to treat them with confidence. We should get the patient, even and the doctors also, into confidence that we are doing the right treatment. That is my way of going. I like even first-hand experience, like patients, instead of being referred directly, if they come to us also, it is good. My first work experience was like that. I worked with an Australian physiotherapist where we had no doctors referring. Directly patient used to come to us. It was a very good experience. Like that, we should be able to develop in future. That is my wish and will.
That is so true, ma'am. We spend a lot of time with the patient, and as you said, they will be in a hurry to send the patient. No offense to anybody, but still, we do spend a little more time than other health professions with the patients. The point I want to ask again is, how do you motivate or direct the girl students or women physios, because they tend to be a little lesser confident when compared to men? So what is that you want to tell to them? Because even though they are correct,
what I feel is they should always come neatly dressed. I've seen some physiotherapists coming with flip-flops, all that. That's why I'm saying they should come neatly dressed like a good professional. They should carry themselves well, and their approach to patients should be with confidence and always with a smile. That itself will cure half of their disease. So never go with some fear and all to patient. And patient himself will start feeling, patient, this doctor doesn't know anything and she came to me like this. Always go with the confidence, prepare yourself for going, prepare with a good smile. And you have to give them confidence, like, so that you know the subject and you can treat them and the patient will be all right. Such words, assurance words and all you should be able to give. And keep yourself always healthy. Don't become sick. And some people are not eating well, these physiotherapists, and I know I was also very thin, I know. Eat well to be strong, to be able to do the best for the patients. So your health also is important, and social, mental, physical health also plays a very good role in making you as a good physiotherapist. You should have confidence in yourself first. Then you can create confidence in others also. That's my advice.
You're taking some very wonderful points, very important points here for all the younger physios who are entering the profession. Being strong, focusing on the nutrition, as Chaya ma'am has mentioned, and the fitness, gym, and everything that contributes to the confidence and mental health, and of course the knowledge of the subject, that is irreplaceable. So we are learning all of that. I mean, that's very important. Reiterating all of that. So, Dr. Hannah ma'am, what is your take on your leadership skill in motivating the faculty members? Because I see that most of the faculty members, they are good, they are knowledgeable, they are very good at what they do, but again, lack confidence, or they are focused on, I mean, of course, because women have to focus on other things as well. It is not just the profession. So how do you, what is your leadership skill in motivating them and putting them on the right track?
So Madhuri, when I really joined as a principal back in those days, I was more of a clinician first. Even now, if I'm given a case, I'm like, fish back into the water, so comfortable.
Yes.
But when I joined that time, it was really a learning experience, leadership, administration. And I learned by looking at other leaders. Because I learned to listen to how they're doing, what they're doing, how to implement. And so my thing was, even whether it be the, lady faculty or male faculty or students, I made it a point to listen to what their problems were. And, the same thing I imbibed. And definitely that did not, I was not that, it made me compromise with things. I insisted on certain things. I was assertive, like how Sabita said about, the conduct of mannerism, clothes and treatment, and in the hospital. Those things are definitely, it's part of the profession, makes you go more professionally strong. But apart from that, I felt, care should be given to female physiotherapy students as well as my faculty. I have that, soft corner for female faculty who work with me. Not that I don't have for the male, but I really felt that, they're working both at home and at work, and their talents should, be shown. A listening ear, giving them time to express, and then taking out the talent and implementing it in my department has made my programs very successful. Whatever I do, it is, getting all that out from them. I don't have to worry. Delegate the work and get it out from them. And I learned a lot by actually all the seniors. I should really, Sabita and all were my seniors. And they molded me when we were there in CMC. And when I came here, I had number of seniors who were there, managers, administrators. And coming from Apollo, we have the higher ups, our management, so supportive to me at that time, because I was actually, I can say, ignorant. But their support has, helped me to branch out beautifully, learn many things, and help me to be compassionate, not only with patient care, but even that zeal in putting up things and being successful in whatever we do. One example I'll tell you. when we had this COVID, we were off from duty for only about 3-4 days. Then our dean called us back and we all had to be on duties. And it was a great task motivating each of my, faculty who had to go into duty. Because in whole of Telangana, I don't know if Andhra also, we were the only hospital that were put into clinicals, whether it be in ICU or whether it be in the hospital, in wards. So many of them were concerned that, they would fall sick, they had families. Motivating them sometimes was really a stress. I could see a negative comment coming. In fact, I prepared even my family that I would be going into clinicals. We were ready. We were put into the hostel. We were given accommodation, food, everything. Because when we are in those duties, we are not to be sent home. For 2 weeks, we would be on campus. So by God's grace, everyone, we all got COVID. We all survived and we are fine. But those stages when they went through that fear complex was one where I had to show empathy, at the same time motivate them. It was a continuous learning process that time. And another thing where I felt it's an obstacle and a leadership thing which I had to look into. As when we studied, it was just a 3.5 years program. And then later on, it became a 4.5 years program when we started the graduate BPT in Andhra Pradesh and Telangana combined. So that time, very soon now we got the PG program, and now that you hear about the doctorate program. So it's something very good. But at the same time, I see also dropouts. With the results being very challenging and number of few people passing, especially in the master's program, I've seen some of my students, doing very well in their data collection for the thesis in their master's program, and then dropping out, saying that no, we have given enough of time for this. It required me, counseling, motivating them, helping them to look at a bigger picture. That if they stay on, they would finish, and there would be scope for improvement. Some of them did do that, but I feel I have a couple of them who did leave. So that is one thing which is a little a bit discouragement for me, where I felt that maybe I was not able to convince them enough. So this is something which I feel always it's a learning process when you come to leadership.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for touching some very important points. And as you very rightly said, women need a little bit of a support, maybe a little bit of nudge here and there. And that is how we are built, and that is not wrong at all. We are built to be gentle, and we need that kind of a little bit of holding hand for a minute, and then look what we can do, like the IAPWC is doing right now. So that is wonderful that you talked about it. And that reminds me of something at our college, the School of Physiotherapy at Geetam. One of the leaders was mentioning that, like, not only in physiotherapy, everywhere, if we look at it, the girls were topping. The girl students were topping in education. The number of girl students are more, and they are topping. They are very good in their marks. But when it comes to the profession, when the number of women entering the workforce is drastically come down. It has come to maybe 3/4 or even half in some of the professions. And the same number of women going into the leadership roles is even more down. It's come down to 1/4. So that is where I think something that we have to look at. And Dr. Chaya ma'am, you've been counseling and helping out so many students, girl students especially. How do you counsel them for preparing through this journey? Because it's definitely not an easy journey, but what is that you tell them to be persistent in that journey without giving up, as Dr. Hannah ma'am has mentioned?
Before counseling them itself, it is the encouragement they receive. Basically, I'm from an organization which insists on women education and empowerment. So when two people come for admission, if it with same percentage, it is the girl student we select. I can proudly say that 80% of our students are girls, and scholarships also, whichever is provided, it will be given only for girls in our institute. this strongly encourages them, and whoever comes first, recently one donor has come with a proposal that they'll be giving all 4-year fee also for a girl student. So always the girl thing is pampered over our institute. And amongst our faculty also, 14 of us are there. Only 3 are male faculty. Recently also, 3 of them joined. So it is the women domination at our place basically. And one more thing, as a principal, one thing I do is I encourage the passion in them. Okay, whatever I did during my journey is always passionate about learning. So we were being discouraged. Ours was the first batch in Andhra. Tamil Nadu and all, it was their physio, but ours was the 98. I belong to 98 batch. That time also, there was a lot of discouragement when I joined the course. This course doesn't suit for girls. This was the thing my father heard from his friends also, but I never looked back. I never looked back. I worked as a clinician for 2 years and almost 18 years. I'm into teaching. I never looked back. So almost every month it will be 2 to 3 guest lectures, meeting principals. Different areas will be touched. Recently we had a class on communication. A faculty from Warangal came in, and we have a class on psychosomatic disorders. And there is a panel. We have 2 panels actually. One is LAC, Legal Aid Center, which gives free legal advices, and if needed, they'll help legally also. A lawyer will be allotted to the student. That much extent our trust goes. And the second area is, recently as a counseling panel also is being established, which addresses the psychological aspects of the girls, which they may not be in a position to share even to their parents. They can openly share to that panel. That is being displayed. So this much support a girl gets from our institute. Thank you.
That is so nice, ma'am. That is really good to hear those support systems that you have built for the girl students, where they're actually only growing now, and they will become leaders with this kind of support system. Now, that point brings me to Dr. Anjali. Here, there is a structured environment. There is a structured ideal, like you can role models, you can actually reach out to the principal, your faculty, and everything. But Dr. Anjali, you are as an entrepreneur and freelancer, I would say. What is your support structure, and what is the leadership model that you practice? So, what is that? I really want to know about that. Dr. Anjali, you're on mute.
So we got to be teaming up with our care providers, which can be your general physicians, your orthopedics, your gynecs. These are your main network of, clinicians who refer patients to you. So I think the leadership comes by communicating easily with them, trying to address what are the needs of the patient as well as what you can provide from your end, and having a clear cut, adaptability of the profession, basically. And what our role as entrepreneurs is that we are not going too much into it. Sometimes we go overboard with our time sometimes, okay? We don't look after our health. We don't look after our personal engagements, and we just go over, there's no end limit to your time management. You start in the morning and you keep working till end limit, till maybe late night. And that really plays up with your family time, with your own personal time, with your health. And I think what keeps us going now is to have a good, clear cut communications with your care providers, which are your other care providers, having a good mutual understanding about with each care providers, because you're not having a bunch of sometimes the physios referring to you. It is mostly your doctor friends or doctor colleagues who are referring your patients. So you need to have clear-cut boundaries from your patient's end, from your clinical side also, and have a peace of mind as to what best you can provide to your patients. And keeping in mind that you're not, having good communication about the patient's conditions to your care providers too. So sometimes what happens if the care provider is referring a patient to us also, we tend to not send them back the report or how the patient is doing. That should not happen. We should be communicating back. Suppose the gynec has referred a patient to us with diastasis recti, we should refer back to the gynec, mentioning what has happened, what is the progress of this patient, which is very, very important in our entrepreneurial journey, because that's what creates that rapport between clinicians. Very important for that. Yeah.
That is so nice. So there's a lot of focus on the communication and the interpersonal relationship, and also at the same time, the clear-cut boundaries without compromising on the care. That is kind of very tricky and definitely something that all of us need to learn as physios in every setting, I believe, right? So thank you so much for those points.
Thank you.
So coming to the next point, I think something that we all get asked about as women, not only in physio, but a little more in physio, especially in physio, is our, as you rightly mentioned, sometimes the time we get overboard with the time. So I want to know, how did you balance your work and life balance, and especially when you're actually achieving so much of success, that remarkable success that you have achieved in your life, that it is not only for yourself, but you have paved the way for the younger generations to come. What is that you see as the best case scenario in future? So what is that, how do you say should be the time management, and what is the best case scenario for the future generations to come in your setting, maybe? So Dr. Sabita ma'am, can I hear from you for this? What do you think is the best clinical setting, and how can we manage our time?
Yes, I feel very proud to be a physiotherapist. I feel there is a very good scope for our profession in the coming days. So as many people are turning to medicine-less treatment, and they want to avoid the side effects and all, so many are looking for natural therapies like that. So physiotherapy has a very good scope. So we should be able to build that we can do the best for the society by being a good physiotherapists. And also ladies especially are nowadays many are turning to ladies because they say they are more patient, they're more understanding, they can listen to us, they'll spend time like that. Many people are having that kind of impression about our women physiotherapists. So we should be able to keep up that and develop more confidence in patients by the way we approach the patient, by the way we apply the treatment that we are planning, all those things. We should be able to manage very well. So in the future days also, our physiotherapists will be able to, I'm looking for a brighter future for these girls, especially ahead. So I think they will do their best by keeping themselves fit all the time. They should, my advice is that they should never feel inadequate about themselves. Always equip themselves with good health and good knowledge. That's my opinion.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you very much for that. Dr. Hannah, I think you have a lot on your hand being an administrator. When I was the director of the School of Physiotherapy, it was like I shouldn't say 24/7, but then it was a lot of work. So how do you manage your time, and what do you think is an ideal situation to manage or for the future generations to come? How do you think this administrative or the head of school should be, so that more and more people find it welcoming?
So in the beginning, when I joined as a administrator or a leader, whatever you call it, but the thing is, at the end of the day, I was like, constantly thinking of issues that happen, how to solve it. But, over the time with counseling and workshops on stress and time management has improved me a lot, where I don't take that home. So there is a balance of, work and, personal life. There's a balance there where I'm able to be happy about myself. And Sabita has said time and again, I'm proud to be a physiotherapist, and I'm really proud to be a physiotherapist. because as we are growing older, we also, realize that our joints, they start to, show their, the signs of aging, degeneration. Now it draws back that I need to take care of myself. We talked about people eating and being strong, but we also need to see that we also, implement or practice what we preached. Take time for ourselves also in terms of, practicing our exercises and all. Of course, I need to motivate myself. There are many times, like, I can understand a patient what they go through. It's easy for us to give them the protocols and tell them, but how far are they going to do it? I've had a loving, concerned faculty who, always are, motivating me to do my own exercises instead of telling somebody. So you can see here the time management for yourself, for your work, for the duties or the commitments that come up. There are many things that are going to come up throughout the day, the regular work, and also there are other things that are going to come up, issues which are unexpected. And at this time, I would like to say the government of India, along with many of the corporate setups, has made a you know they are trying to see that we women and even employees in the institution understand how safe we are. I think that is so important, because you also were saying, what can we do for the girls? What can we do for the female students or the female faculty? So this is also giving time to be able to sit and study and go through those things. We've been educated in this from the past couple of years now. And many times I have issues where, I just want to say, not that I support, any untoward incidences involving, female students or female faculty, but I feel we should always try and lift them up. We are living in an age where anything can happen. We don't need to put anyone down. We need to lift them up. They are our children. That's what I look at. Irrespective of how good, bad, or ugly, why one principle is lift them up, whoever it is. It's a female faculty, female student, be supportive to them, because tomorrow these things will go away, but they are going to be very productive in society. So this is also one thing which I feel is very important when you look at, and last, I would like to say, there is no shortcut to, hard work. And God has blessed me to be able to take each and every challenge. Challenges are there to refine us. So we have to look at that way. That refinement makes us more productive and maybe interact with people, interact with doctors. I've had a good communication with many doctors. I don't want to go into the same thing of, each one of us telling, but about our patient care and all. But we know what we have, the zeal, compassion, empathy, along with the, education, knowledge increases, skill increases, compassion, dedication should go side by side. So I think with the small points, I would like to give others a chance.
Thank you so much. Those are some very, very important points. Thank you for sharing with us the way that the students or us, I mean, we have learned in a hard way, but the way we see failure, the way we take failure and move ahead is something that we all need to, I mean, it is never too many times to reiterate that. And thank you for bringing up that topic. So coming to Dr. Chaya ma'am, what is your take on this, and what do you think is a real situation for the faculty member or the student when you are counseling them? What do you envision for them to be as an ideal workplace? And how do you manage your work and personal lifetime?
Here I want to narrate a story. There used to live a pious man. He used to live on a hill. And as soon as people look at him, there is a big halo around his head and lot of positive vibe. He's always blissful. So few of them who are living in a village nearby, they used to look at him, what he is practicing. Let us spend some time with him and let us all know what he's doing. So few of them went, few ladies and few gents. and they have spent 2 to 3 days. Nothing has happened. As morning he wakes up, he does some yoga, he waters his plants, he cooks for himself, simple cooking for himself. He leads life happily. So nothing extraordinary from normal people. So they one day two of them got okay, let us talk to him. So they sat near him. He looked at them, they looked at him, and he never spoke something, what do you call, something special about his lifestyle and all, something, the reason for his happiness and all. So next day morning, two of them dared and went to him. He was walking in the lawn. So one lady and one male, they were also walking with him, and this lady asked him, uh, "Sir, how are you so happy? What is the reason behind him? Please let us know. We also want to be like you." So that man asked that lady. That first he asked that man, "What are you thinking?" "I am thinking what to cook for lunch today." Uh, and then he looked at the lady and then he asked, she told, "I am thinking what my children are doing and what my maid did today, what my mother, how my mother-in-law was managing all these things, and how all these days I didn't go there, know what might have happened to my husband." All many things she started telling. So this is the mindset of a lady, and that too working lady. We tried doing one job itself puts a lot of pressure on it. Physiologically, if you speak, if you are stressed out, even though you don't do any strenuous activity also, your sympathetic system is activated. It goes and unnecessarily disturbs your adrenal, and they release adrenalines, and it will be like it shoots up everything. Okay, unnecessarily we are spoiling our health, and nothing else we gain from that. Thinking of doing 2 to 3 jobs at a time, don't even, we are messing up with our own health only. Okay, so when you, and that man told ultimately, "Sir, how you are doing, what you are thinking?" This lady and male asked. That man told, "I walk when I walk." That means when you're walking, walk. When you are eating, eat. When you are in the college, be in the college. When you are in home, be. This story has changed my life entirely. Otherwise, it is very difficult to manage an administrative post, answering your superiors, getting sandwiched between your superiors and your subordinates, and coming home, managing the in-laws, kids. It won't be that easy for a woman. So if you are working on something, mind, body, and soul on that thing. It is as simple as it. I think it's my opinion. Thank you. That is how I manage my things.
We can see that you are peaceful. At least we think that. Thank you so much. That was really, we all love stories, and that was a very knowledgeable story that we can implement. Thank you so much for that. Dr. Anjali, coming to you, I think we are running out of time, maybe, but not to hurry. Please do share your experience and your take on how do you think the entrepreneurial landscape should be an ideal place for the younger generations to come. And I don't know how to fit Dr. Chaya ma'am's story in your situation, because you already by default have 100 things around you that you have to think. That you have to think about the payments, you have to think about the promotion, and also the clinical care, and also something else. So how do you deal with it? What's your take on it? You're on mute, Dr. Anjali.
Entrepreneurial journey is definitely stressful because, as you said, how you are getting your next patient the next day is onto you and onto how you presented your, you know, previous patients as. So it's word of mouth, word of referrals, and you have to look at not just one aspect, just not clinical care. You have to look at this, everything around your, the social media, how you're developing your marketing, how you're developing your, rentals, how you're chipping in into growing into more clinical basis, how you're expanding your businesses, how you're as an entrepreneur, communicating and collaborating with other entrepreneurs in the field, how you're trying to market your service outside. So as a woman, you have the talent, you have that excellent skill of communication, you have that politeness, you have the gentleness, you can communicate very well, but at the same time you should be on the edge of it, like, no, I'm not going to give it up today, I need to keep going. But at the same time you're managing home, you're managing family, you're managing your personal health, wellness. uh, Eating on time doesn't happen for an entrepreneur. There are days when you go without a breakfast, there are days when you've not eaten your lunch, right? I'm going from one hospital to another. Sometimes you have a lot of talks to give, lot of sessions to conduct, and you're just grabbing something while driving a car, though you shouldn't be doing that. But that's how we are, and we become timed into it. But I think more and more younger women will be more good at it, because now the system is so easy for them, not our times, because we had to set a base and now we are building up on it. But now the government policies are helping startups to start funding the women entrepreneurs. Women are taking up loans from the government, so it's an easy channel now for them. So they just need to you know tap into the right sources and get all the adequate help from the government, from institutes like Madhuri's, Hana ma'ams, and Chaya ma'ams, and Savita ma'ams. It's an easy thing to do now. You can get your team ready, you can get your, business ready. You have to have a business idea. So I think it's all in all, it's all about you doing the thing, but you need to have good mentors, which can be your teachers, your professors from your old school, college. They can be your other colleagues who have opened some entrepreneurial, clinics and hospitals. So I think overall you need to be having a great network. You have to have great mentorship. You have to have good communication with all your colleagues, and keep your patients happy. Keep your patients happy is the first mantra. And that's the thing. You are into a care provision. So you need to make sure your prioritization should be care. And at the same time, do exclusive, unique care. You want to outshine, you want to stand alone, you need to do something different sometimes for your patients too. So I think that's what about it, Madhuri. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much. Those were some very, very interesting points. And I'm so glad that we did this program. We've been discussing so many on the clinical topics. We do so many conferences, which is really good. But this I feel like more of a heart-to-heart talk on the Women's Day, where we discussed about the problems, or not the problems, maybe the challenges, the support system that we need, the women need in different settings. And I see that they're different in different settings, and each of us have to learn and take it as a normal to that particular setting. And I'm so glad we did this session, and thank you all so much for accepting the invitation to be here. It was very, very knowledgeable and enriching talking to you and learning from your experiences, and sharing your wisdom with all the attendees. So thank you so much I thank the IAP and IAP Women's Cell, Dr. Ruchi, Dr. Sanjeev Jha, and the entire IAP Women's Cell team, Telangana team, who have been so very supportive in such kind of activities. I thank everyone, and I give it back to Dr. Atiya.
Well, it was a great session, and I deeply thank all the members for joining this session and encouraging us and motivating us to conduct more seminars in coming future. We as a women are facing many challenges in our life, and as a woman, as I am into a field of freelancing and attending many of the patients, we as a physio must know that we are our strength. So we as a women should empower ourselves, motivate ourselves, give a psychological help for each other, and work towards the prosperity of our field. Now, because we don't have anyone here asking us any queries, let us end this session by giving a vote of thanks. I request Dr. Asha to take the session forward.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Dr. Athiya. Yeah, on behalf of the Indian Association of Physiotherapy Women's Cell Telangana team, I want to extend a huge thank you to all of you for being part of today's session to celebrate the International Women's Day and the inspiring women trailblazers in physiotherapy. A heartfelt thank you to Dr. Sanjeev Jha, the President of Indian Association of Physiotherapy, for your invaluable support and leadership. Your commitment to the growth and empowerment of our community continues to inspire us all. And our sincere thanks to Dr. Ruchi Varshini, National Head of Women's Cell, for your guidance and encouragement in making this event possible. And your dedication to women's development in the field of physiotherapy is truly commendable, Dr. Ruchi. And we are also grateful to Dr. Jaya Prabha, South Zone Head for Indian Association of Physiotherapy Women's Cell, for your continuous support. And a big thank you to the digital team, Dr. Uttara and team, for making it a success. And to our distinguished speakers and the trailblazing women of physiotherapy in Telangana, Dr. Sabita Prasad, Professor Hannah Rajshekar, Dr. Chaya Nandini, and Dr. Anjani Agarwal. We express our deepest appreciation. You have shared with us your incredible journeys, challenges, and triumphs that have shaped the physiotherapy landscape. We are also so proud of your achievements and the path that you have paved for the future generations. A special thank you to IAPWC Telangana team, Dr. Madhuri, Dr. Athiya, Dr. Vandana, Dr. Shravanti, Dr. Lakshmi, Dr. Vaishali, Dr. Veda, and Dr. Monica for their hard work in organizing this event and making it a memorable occasion. Finally, thank you to all the audience for being part of this celebration. Your presence today is a testament to the importance of recognizing and supporting the contributions of women in every field, especially in our field. So let us continue to inspire, support, and uplift one another in the pursuit of excellence. And we are proud to be female physiotherapists. Wishing you all a wonderful International Women's Day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, Madhuri and the whole
Thank
team of IAPWC and IAP, and meeting Sabita and Anjali, Chaya on this platform and the rest. Thank you for having us, and wish each one of you a happy Women's Day.
Yes.
Women's
Happy
Day.
Women's Day, everyone. And thank you for such a memorable experience.
Thank you so much.
Team IAP.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.